today's video, we're going to be considering the musical alphabet. Whether you're a beginner, a middle learner, or a pro, you get some things from the lesson we're going to be considering. In music, we make use of the first 7 letters of the English alphabet, which are A to G. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So in music, it revolves around those 7 alphabets. You know, in English language, when you read A to Z, you start all over from A again. In music, once you get to G, you start from A again. So you can read A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, just like that. So these are the 7 alphabets we use in music. Then we're also going to consider what we call the staff or stave. Either of the two is correct, staff or stave. A staff simply means a group of 5 equal lines and 4 spaces on which musical notes and symbols or notations are written. This is what we mean by a staff. 5 lines, 5 lines, and 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me number this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The spaces are 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, when you are reading music, you start counting from here. This is not the first line, this is the 5th line. So you read up. This is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's what our staff is all about. So everything in music is written on our staff. I hope that is gotten. Then we're going to look at what we know as the clef. The clef. Or clefs. A clef is an Italian word that means key. So what is the meaning of a clef? A clef is a musical symbol written at the very beginning of a staff or stave, helping us to identify the pitch of notes on the staff. In fact, in a layman's term, the clef or clefs are what give meaning to our staff. You remember our staff is made up of just 5 lines and 4 spaces. It has no meaning. It has no name. But our clef is what gives meaning to our stave. And there are different types of clef. But for the purpose of our class, we are going to limit ourselves to 2. They are treble clef or G clef. Then the second one is the bass clef or F clef. Why do we call it G clef? As we go on, we'll see, because it starts from alphabet G. Or another reason it's called G clef because the symbol looks like a G. The same thing applies to this. We start the drawing from line F on the staff, on the bass staff, and then it also resembles drawing letter F. If that's the reason, backwards. So we have 2 types of clef, the treble clef or G clef. This one is also called violin clef, but not very common. So we have the bass clef or the F clef. So we have the alto clef, we have the tenor clef, and other clefs, but for the purpose of our class, we're going to limit ourselves to these 2. So it is this clef, when added to the staff, that will give meaning to the staff. So let's apply one of these clefs to our staff. So when you put a treble clef on a staff, it becomes a treble staff. Take for instance, let me rub off this one. So the treble stave or staff. So these are treble stave. I mean, these are ordinary stave, which has no meaning. But when we now put our treble clef, we start the drawing from the second line here, which is G. From the definition I said earlier, our treble clef is placed at the very beginning of the staff, and it gives meaning or gives name to the line and spaces, because each of these line and spaces is represented by an alphabet. But you cannot know which alphabet it is until you put a clef on it. It is the clef you put on the staff that will determine the letter names of the lines and spaces. Now we are dealing with the treble clef. Now this is a treble staff. Because we have put a treble clef on an ordinary staff, it becomes a treble staff. Good. So with this, we can easily give alphabetical names to the lines and spaces. So the first line here is line E. The second line here is line G. The more reason we call it G clef is because we start the drawing G. And then the third line here is line B. The fourth, a line D. The fifth, line F. So these are the alphabetical names of the lines. Remember, because of the type of clef we are dealing with, if I should put a base clef on a staff, this thing will not follow. But because we are dealing with treble clef, this is the names of the lines and spaces. Lines rather. Now let's deal with the space. The first space is like letter F, followed by letter A, C, and E. So there is a mnemonics that you can use. You can use what you like, but the most common is every good boy for the lines. Every good boy deserves favor or Fanta for the lines. So we have E, G, B, D, F. And then for the space, we have face, F-A-C-E, face. So this is a mnemonic or acronym you can use to remember the lines and the spaces of the treble stave. Or if you can't memorize all this, it follows. Remember, we have the musical alphabet is A to G, so it follows alphabet. And when you are reading music, lines follows a space. After space, line, after line, space. It follows like that. So if the first alphabet here on the line is E, then after line is a space. So if the first line is E, what's the next alphabet after E? So we have F. After space, what do we have? Line. So after F is what? Alphabet G on this line. After G, A. After A, B. After B, C. After C, D. After E, D, E. After E, F. So ditto when you're reading the music, if this place is Do, if this will be Re, Mi, just like that. So it follows alphabetically. So these are the two ways to know the lines and spaces of the treble staff. I hope you are following. Good. Any question you have, you can drop them in the comment section. So briefly, before we bring today's class to an end, let's look at the base staff. Our stave is just a comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces that has no meaning until a clef is put in it. So in the first instance, we have put a treble clef on the stave, on an empty stave, making it treble stave. And with that, we have been able to give names to the lines and spaces. Now let's look at the base clef, base staff rather, base stave. You can call it stave or staff. So this is our empty stave or staff that has no meaning. So we have 5 lines. Remember, we read from down is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. In case somebody asks you, what's the third line of the treble stave? Third line. This is first, second, third. What's the letter name of the 5th line of the treble stave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And not the other way around. Good. We're looking at base stave. Base stave simply means you put a bass clef on an empty stave. It will give you a bass clef. Or bass stave rather. So you start your drawing from here. So this is a bass stave. Remember, the clef gives meaning to this and this empty stave. So with this now, we can give name to the line and spaces of our staff. So this place is letter G. So letter G followed by letter B for the lines. followed by letter D, followed by a letter F, followed by letter A. Then for the spaces we have A, C, E, and G. Remember what we said earlier. If you can't remember the mnemonics or to remember the names of the line and spaces, you can use mnemonics or abbreviations. But another method you can use is, since you remember that the base stave starts with letter G, and line and spaces, they work simultaneously, or in that order, in ascending or descending order. So the first line is G. In music, remember we have A to G for our music alphabets. So in G, after G, what do we have? A. So since the first line is G, the second line will be A. The space following the line will be A. Then the line will be B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. So we have space, line, or line, space, just like that. It follows in that order. So with this, you can use mnemonics for these lines. We have good boys deserve favors always. While for the space of the bass clef, we have all cows eat grass. It doesn't have to be what I'm using, whatever you can use to remember. If this is the method you choose to follow, you can adopt your own mnemonics or abbreviations. All cows eat grass. Good boy deserves favor always. So with this, we come to the end of today's class. We have covered the music alphabet, the staff, and the clefs, the names, letter names of the treble and the bass clef. Please ensure you follow up with this, because it will be a build-up to the following lessons. Once you get the foundations right, as we begin to go higher, you will understand the topic very well. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.
It's so easy to forget the victories of the past and focus on the trials of the moment.